All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence Jr. pleading guilty and receiving jail time over a car accident that took place and a driving while intoxicated charge. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about the current three-belt holding welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. and the culmination of big drama that was taken on related to his car accident. He has pleaded guilty to DWI, driving while intoxicated, and has received a jail sentence. But before we get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber, supporter to the channel, hey, please, thank you for continuing to watch the channel. Your contribution to the channel is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your support. And make sure you hit that like button before we get up out of here. All right, man. So Errol Spence Jr. was in a car crash in 2019, a car crash that almost ended his career. Ferrari flipped over umpteen zillion times, and fortunately he was thrown from the car, according to Errol, thrown up 30 feet in the air, lands on concrete and survives. And the culmination of that is now that he has pleaded guilty to a DWI charge in Dallas, and receives a 3-day jail sentence for his trouble. So a lot of drama around that one, man. He comes out and what he has to say about it is that, that he can now be a message to people about drinking and driving. He said that he and his friends went out and had a couple drinks with his friends, got back in the car, crashed his car, and almost died. And now he can be a spokesman to kids and other people and letting them know that, not to do that. Not even one drink when you're driving is just not worth it. And man, I'm telling you, dude, he is 100% right on that one. A very, very fortunate situation for him to be alive at all. Man, I remember when that news came in that he had gotten that car accident, I was like, wow. And my immediate thought was, wow, his career is over. However, man, I'm just hoping to see that he's alive. I actually talked to somebody that was real close to him at the time. He's always, man, I talked to was always going to be close to him. By the time I talked to him, was like, oh man, no, everything is good. He's going to be fine. It's not going to affect his career and anything like that. It was hard to believe at the time, but took their word for it. And hey, man, that's exactly what wound up transpiring. Couple years later, he's back in the saddle, looking as good as he's ever looked, and in a position to get one of the biggest fights in boxing, which is the undisputed championship between himself and Terrence Crawford. Now, as far as the 3-day jail sentence that he got, they said that they have basically given him waived that for time served. I'm not sure how the time served portion of that went. Like if he was already if he spent 3 days in jail already, or he's just saying that, because his license was suspended or whatever they did during the period of time, that he, since the accident, that they're just going to give him credit for that. That's not clear. Did not know that he spent any time in jail. Wouldn't assume that he did, but they said that it's basically that they're going to suspend that or give him credit for time served, and that's it. That's the end of the scenario. Doesn't seem like there's any gigantic fines, anything like that. But I'll tell you, man, he's very, very fortunate that first of all, besides him being fortunate that he didn't pass away in that particular instance, very fortunate that he didn't cause any damage to anybody else. The only damage that we know of that really took place, other than the bruising, a lot of bruising and stuff on him, was the damage to the car. And in that situation, he said, "Hey man," he said he can't get any more car insurance because he crashed that car, so they had to come off $700,000. The car company had to come off $7,000 for that, or $700,000 for that, $600,000 or $700,000 for that, whatever the value of that of his Ferrari was. I think it was a Ferrari. I don't think it was a Lamborghini. And then he said he got in another car. He said somebody rear-ended him at a stoplight in a truck. So now, he can't get any more insurance. He's going to have to buy his car all the way out. And if he gets any problems, he's just going to have to come out the pocket for that. I'm not sure exactly how that works with him being able to drive if he can't actually get insurance. I think you have to have insurance to drive. Like, you have to have insurance to drive in Texas. So not sure exactly how he's going to get around that. But, in this particular case, it's all's well that ends well. And I do think that he is definitely like an example, not just outside, like, it's tough to say, you provide a good example with, being in that type of situation, but admitting that that's what you did, being straightforward about what you did in it, and letting people know that. I mean, hey man, as long as nobody got hurt on the other side of it, I guess it can be a good side, but also, it really did, from what I can see, rededicate him to his career. And, for him, it might have as long as there's no lingering health issues or anything related to that, it could have wound up being a blessing in disguise for him, where, he was just really forced to look at the things that he's doing and buckle down and be a lot more constructive in what he's doing every day. Changes that he's made that I know of since that car accident, as he moved out of downtown Dallas, moved out into the country, got horses and chickens and cows and stuff like that, and pretty much spending his time with his family, with his girlfriend and his kids, or I'm not sure if it's a fiance. I know that I don't believe that they're married, but, doing that type, buying horses and all of that, and pretty much focusing on being the best fighter he can be. And I think that, it took a little bit of time to see that. The first fight that he came back with Danny Garcia didn't look, said he was at about 80%, didn't really look like, didn't look devastating in that particular fight. Had a fight with Manny Pacquiao, got re-injured, right, in the Manny Pacquiao fight with his retina, but then, jumped back out, got in there with Yordenis Ugas, and looked like a machine in that particular fight. And, at times, I think he looked kind of rusty in the fact that he, there were moments in the fight where he was really kind of overdoing or going for a little bit too much and loading up maybe a little bit too much when he's on the inside, letting Yordenis Ugas slipped some of the shots, but he seemed like he settled down. And by the, third, fourth, fifth, sixth round, looked like he was running like a machine, right? So at the end of the day, man, I'm very, very happy that he survived that, obviously. As far as him pleading guilty, hey man, good example. If, I don't think that there was much that he could do to contest it, especially if they had the blood tests and had, knew what his alcohol level was. But clearly, they weren't able to breathalyze him at the time because, he didn't get pulled over. The only reason they knew was because of a car crash, and he probably took him straight to the hospital. But anyway, it is what it is at this point in time. You let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.